Welcome back to the Pageants and Tangents podcast. This week we're talking about pageant packing tips.
Welcome to the Pageants and Tangents podcast.
I love how you guys are so polite when I do that little intro and you're like this. And it's like completely ignoring the previous 20 or 30 minutes of complete like craziness that we've just had. None of it was like this. But guys, welcome back to the Pageants and Tangents podcast. We're going to go around the room quickly to catch up with our crew and see what's been going on. And for those of you who are noticing, yes, I've changed the order. There's different people in different squares, but you can deal with it. We'll start with Haley, who has had her first day at Harvard. Why don't you catch us up? Because we missed you last week.
Yes. So since the last time you saw me, I have crowned my successor. Miss Earth USA 2026 is Gia Soleil Espinoza of El Paso, Texas. And I have strep throat. And I started at Harvard yesterday, and Adrian sent me some Milanos. I have them here. So my snowstorm came with Milanos in school. And now I am back. I sent Gianna Caloris in my place last week, and I heard you guys had a lot of fun. And that's really my updates for this week. Just not a pageant title holder anymore.
Has been.
Has been.
Has been than it never was, huh? That box of Milanos, can you?
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that big. I thought it was going to be like, how big are Milanos? Oh, that's a bit better. Okay,
Yeah.
I think you were holding it close to the camera. I thought it was some jumbo box.
No.
Did I get the flavor right? Because I went back to the
You
transcript
did.
of our interview, and you said mint chocolate. All right.
I love the mint chocolate ones. Thank you, Adrian.
And apparently I sent the poor Amazon driver in the middle of a snowstorm. I felt really bad because you get photos when Amazon drivers drop things off, and his photo, all you can see is an Amazon package, and there's snow everywhere. So I did feel kind of bad, but I hope he or she made it back safely.
He made it.
But,
He's okay.
Good. How was your first day at Harvard?
It was a lot of fun. I had 2 classes, 2 hours apiece. So it's 4 hours back to back to do that. It was good to meet all of my classmates. We're all very different. We come from very different backgrounds in journalism and media. So I think we're going to bring a lot of interesting things to the class. The way that it works, it almost functions like a newsroom. So one week we'll pitch stories that we want to do, and then the next week we'll critique each other's writing in class. So it's really important that we get along and we have a good class atmosphere, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that.
That sounds very, very cool. Sounds very, very hands-on, which I'm a fan.
It sounds like I'd be laying hands on somebody if they critiqued my stuff too much.
Maybe.
They better be nice. They better be nice.
Everyone seems nice. I think it's going to be fine.
We like critique. We like constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to deal with that, especially yes. Yeah, we all know what the opposite is. But constructive criticism is always a good thing. All right, let's go across to our Miss Georgia volunteer, who's the only one who's now a title holder. Only pageant queen in the room now because Haley is a former.
Last man standing.
Yeah. So Peyton, what's been going on since this week? Well, since last week.
Just a lot of work, a lot of prep work. This weekend, I am in the Brightside Foundation talent show. So I'm going to do a quick little speed painting this weekend to raise some money for Brightside Foundation. So prepping for that, because it's been a minute since I've done a live speed painting, which it shouldn't have been. I should be, practicing every single day, but life, yes. Morgan.
Can you tell us what you're painting? Or is it a secret?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that I painted at Miss Georgia Volunteer, which was Frank Sinatra.
I love
it's just an easy land. The crowd likes it.
I want a Frank Sinatra painting.
I'll send you one.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. So I'm doing that. I had a really exciting, which is something I need to tell you guys towards the end. I'm not going to reveal yet until it's set in stone. But I had another really exciting thing pop up today, actually. Which was another reason for me to cry today. I've cried a lot today. If anybody didn't know, I'm a weenie and I cry all the time. So lots of good things and also some not so good things. Either way, I'm crying. Who made Peyton cry? Peyton did. Always. What else can I tell you? Oh, I'm doing some fun things with the Salvation Army this weekend, some more prep work. hopefully some walking lessons and getting my competition shoes ready. Yeah, I volunteered at the, I know Adrian wants me to tell this story. I volunteered at the, my face is still red and puffy from crying, so I'm going to try not to cry. I volunteered at the Salvation Army tonight for the dinner service, which is something I love doing. And it's always normally okay. Sometimes I still walk away crying, but it's all out of love and out of the big feelings that I feel after realizing how blessed I am and how blessed so many people around me are. But I was speaking to a young man today, and he asked for an extra plate. And we asked him who it was for, and he said it was for his brother. And if any of you know me, I have 3 family members with special needs. And his brother walked in, and he was so sweet, but had very visible special needs. And it rocked my world. Just not something you see all the time. Even when you volunteer all the time, it's not something you see all the time. So big feelings over here in this square. Please go volunteer anywhere you can, whether it's the Salvation Army or not. People need help.
Just to provide some context, because I know you did this before, but he was homeless as well, you said, and it's currently in Georgia and a lot of the United States well below freezing.
It was 10 degrees yesterday.
I don't even want to know what that is in Celsius. I know that's below freezing. Anything below freezing is just wrong. It should never be that cold. But no, that's Peyton. If there's any reason to cry, I think that's a very valid one. And someone needs to be the emotional heart of our podcast. It definitely should not be me, because I'm completely insane. And Haley is always composed. It can't be Haley. And Morgan just keeps cursing. Like, I can't. Someone's got to be the emotional heart.
It's a good reflection that you have a servant's heart. And like we talked about last week, the beauty of it is, I mean, that situation's tough. But the fact that you weren't there for a photo op and to just show off and get in your car and drive off and not even give 2 thoughts about it, like, to me, what you're dealing with right now, even though it's really crappy, is the essence of, to me, a true queen, a true beauty queen. Like, this is what it's about. And it sucks, and it made you a sad boy, and you're still a little bit of a sad boy, but it just reflects your heart. So just know you're good peoples. Thanks, and you love peoples, and that's a beautiful thing.
100%.
Yeah.
So that was
go doodle something and stop being sad.
Okay. Go to Morgan. Cut the cameras.
The cameras.
Sad. She's just emotional. But can I just, Morgan, I need to ask you a question, because you probably, in terms of if I ever have a religious discussion, I'd probably go to you. You know how people say everything happens for a reason?
Yes.
And then you see things like that, or terrible things happen, and you're like, I can't see a reason. What are your thoughts on that? Because I think it's like everything happens for a reason if you make a reason out of it. I don't think everything, though. I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
I've always grown up with it being explained to me in the sense of, yes, everything happens for a reason, and God has a bigger plan or purpose, whatever God it is that you may believe in. Pretty much all religions do say that there is a plan or a purpose in place for it. But also, speaking specifically into like the Christian religion, there's also the rebuttal of, but God gives free will. And, you know, not necessarily, some of the bad things that happen aren't something that necessarily your God would want to happen to you, but also humans have free will. Where'd she go?
I don't know. It's Peyton. You know what Peyton's
She's like, I'm leaving. So it's always been an interesting balance to me, because I've definitely sat here and kind of questioned it myself, that's one thing I will say I have no issue with is some people be like, don't question God. Dude, when I pray half the time, I'm like, listen, like, bro, I'm confused. Like, can you shed some light on this? Because I don't really understand. And in situations like that, those things don't make sense to me. And it sucks. And I feel like it's so much more common than it ever should be, but also like, does the responsibility fall on God or does it fall on fellow mans for us, like your fellow men, for us failing these people and failing to get them into the places that they need to be and failing to provide help? Like the amount of people who are out on the streets dealing with mental health issues or just falling on hard times, it's not always because someone was an addict that they end up on the streets. Like Peyton saw firsthand an example of it. So yeah, it's an interesting, confusing blend to me because I'm like, that makes no sense. It makes no sense. Yes, God gives free will, but also why do bad things happen to good people? But then why do good things happen to bad people?
Yeah.
Like, how come some of the worst people in the world are sitting here with, $8 billion in mega yachts, and some of the most genuine and pure hearts in the world don't have 2 pennies to rub together?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
I really hope there is some sort of accounting for all this at the end, whatever
there
afterlife
so
you
is.
guys believe in. Because if there's not, I am going to be peeved. Let's put it that way. We say it in pageantry all the time. It's like, oh, it just wasn't your time. It just wasn't your turn. And I get that. And that's a better way of looking at it than, oh my God, my life is over. I didn't win the pageant. But at the same time, you're never guaranteed in pageantry that not everyone's going to have their time or their turn. And this is where I have a bit of an issue with it. When people say there's a plan, it's like, yes, but how do you know what's the plan? And what are you supposed to do about it? Because it's never like I just sit here and things will happen. You have agency, as you said, Morgan, free will. It's like, hey, Haley, like a year ago, I think, case in point, Haley's plan a year ago, like let's just even talk when you won Pretty Down to Earth to how it's changed now. I mean, can you give the people watching at home, Haley, an idea of how much your plans have changed even in the last 12 months?
When I was 19, I was pre-accepted to medical school at LeCom, and all I had to do was maintain a certain GPA, and I would go right into medical school, didn't have to take the MCAT. And then I graduated with my bachelor's degree in biology in May. A couple weeks later, I competed on Pretty Down to Earth. A month and a half later, I won Miss Earth USA. And 2 weeks after that, I was supposed to start medical school, and I had to call them and tell them that I wasn't coming. And then I competed at Miss Earth in the fall, and I came home from that, and I applied for an MBA program. I looked at maybe going to law school. I did get into the MBA, decided not to do it. And now I'm going to Harvard to be a journalist. So med school, Miss Earth USA, and now journalism, because I'm a professional yapper now, as it turns out. And that's what I learned about myself from that whole experience. It was worth it. But yeah, Haley today and Haley a year ago, 2 very different people.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have all 3 of you here, regardless of how you ended up here, all very different paths. Morgan, before I ask you that very deep theological question, and thank you for the answer, by the way, what have you been getting up to this week?
So we have to move again. We're still staying in Charleston, but we're moving to another house. This will make our 3rd move in a year. So at this point, we're experts. I guess hire Morgan and Morgan Moving Company for your moving needs, because my husband and I at this point are just playing Jenga in the back of our SUV with all of our boxes. But today's episode is actually perfect for what I've got going on, because I am packing and flying out to New Orleans this weekend for my iconic nerdy ball. And yeah, that's what's going on. That's what's going on.
We can get into some cool little pageant packing tips here. I will say my least favorite activity in the entire world is moving. And it's not even the packing, it's the unpacking. It's like when you get home after a long trip. I don't know if you guys can resonate with this at all. Packing, you get all excited, you get all organized, and you come back and you don't really have to unpack. So it kind of just sits in your suitcase for the next 3 months, 6 months, gathering dust until your next trip or until your next pageant. And all those things that you thought, oh, I can't find my hair curler, it's still in your suitcase.
Yep.
So the boxes, and taking stuff out of boxes is not, I think it's the worst thing in the world. If there was a hell, that would be my personal hell.
No, but see, okay, so I agree. My suitcase is still packed from when we tried to go to Miss USA and our flight got completely screwed and we couldn't go. So I still have my Miss USA outfits in a suitcase. That's not promising. But B, I will say, since Josh and I have been together, we've been together 12 years, and this will be our 10th move in 12 years together. We're a smooth system, but I really like decorating a new place. Like, do you not get excited when you get to like clean slate, everything's like you get to dust it all and like put it perfectly in its place. Like it itches my brain so good when everything's got its spot.
Yeah, I do like that. But when you lived in a place for a while and then you start gathering all the trash, because that's how life is. You just start gathering stuff. Everyone's a hoarder. And then there's places that you can't clean because you now have so much crap in your house, and you go to dust and this and that. The house starts breaking, the faucets start leaking, and then you have to move again. It's like, I'm a very minimalist person. Give me my computer, an internet connection, and my mic. I can probably, that was my whole goal with life, was just to be able to work wherever I needed to work as long as I had an internet connection. But it does sound exciting, decorating.
You can do it. There's companies, I don't know about worldwide, but in the US, you can literally bounce around to these people's houses. People will hire you to legitimately house sit for them. And they've got some of the sickest spots. Like you'll be in Hawaii, you'll be in a place in Manhattan, you just house sitting. So like what I'm telling you ultimately is pack your laptop and your mic and get on a plane.
Okay.
Maybe not right now with what's going on in our country.
I was going to say, we don't talk politics, and I certainly don't want to get into the aspects of what I've been seeing.
No.
But I think the most disturbing thing is that we can see all this footage now, and there are certain things. I'm thinking like kids seeing that, and that's not. I remember back when that Ukrainian girl was stabbed on the subway, and they released the footage, and I didn't want to see it, but the way that social media works, eventually someone posted it, and Facebook decided, hey, you really want to see this, and then before you know it, I've seen it. I never wanted to see it, but the world's crazy at the moment. I don't know what's going on, and I don't like that kind of crazy. I like crazy, but not that kind of crazy. And I'm just going to stay well away from it. Thank you very much.
Yes.
But it's kind of happening in Australia. We follow your guys' trends. We're just about a year behind or so. And so it's crazy here too. We just have nicer weather at the moment, and that helps deal with everything. Okay. Well, it's been a manic catch up. We've had tears, we've had laughs, and we've had questions on the meaning of life. I guess we should go to the top right square first. Haley, so we're going to be talking, guys, about pageant packing. We'll get into it. I'm going to completely cede the floor because I don't know anything about pageant packing. I know about packing. I know about vacuum bags. People have talked to me about butt glue and chicken fillets or chicken. That's all I know.
Cutlets.
But let's go to Haley first. And Haley obviously has traveled domestically and internationally for a pageant. So what are some of your must-have like pageant packing, the things that must go in the suitcase?
So the biggest thing I would say is you have to have a carry-on that's going on the plane with you, and you're going to put everything you need for competition in there. So your swimsuit, your heels, the earrings that you're competing in, your gown, because if anything is lost, you will at least have those things and you'll be okay to compete. As far as stuff that you should bring, I have many props with me today. So first of all, we have my med kit that I took with me to Miss Earth. So she is a plastic box. She has tissues. She has tape for your toes, every kind of Band-Aid, anything for allergies. There's nasal spray in there. We've got burn stuff. Cute story. When I was at Miss Earth, the outlets fit like the same as they do in the US. So all my stuff plugged in, but the voltage is much higher in the Philippines. And my curling iron reached like 400 or 500 degrees. And now I have a scar on my thumb from the burn that I got from that. So if you're traveling internationally for a pageant, just because your stuff will plug in does not mean that you don't need a converter. So just check on that before you go anywhere, because everyone was like, your stuff is going to plug in. It's fine. It's not fine. So check that. So that's a big one. Anytime you're traveling for pageant.
Can I just jump in there because I've had to do this a lot because so there are two main voltages. Forget the physical shape of the plug. So if the plug doesn't fit in physically, then all you need is an adapter. But voltages are different, and that's when you need a transformer. And transformers are completely very bulky, very expensive. And if you don't use that, as Haley found, your electronics will fry. There are some exceptions, though. So your phone chargers, your laptop chargers, if you have a look at them, and they will say on the back like 110 or 120 volts, which is you guys, you Americans. Over here in Australia and the UK and probably the Philippines, we are 220 or 240 volts. And you can't just plug in one from the other. But if you have a USB adapter or laptop, you're generally fine. But your curling irons, your hair dryers, don't do that. They will just blow up. Does your curling iron even still work anymore?
It does. Surprisingly, nothing is fried. It was just very dangerous to use. And then when I came home from the Philippines, I cut 4 or 5 inches off of my hair and dyed it back brown because it was breaking off in chunks. It was so toasted from a few weeks there. So just being aware of that. In addition to that, steamers were a massive issue. So I would plug mine in and it would shoot boiling water across the room, but it wouldn't produce steam. And everyone was having the same problem. So I tried several different steamers that I had borrowed from different people. And ultimately, we weren't able to steam anything. And if you've competed in pageants before, you know that pretty much everything needs steamed all of the time. Like it's a daily ritual when you're at a pageant where you steam things the night before that you're going to need the next day. So that was a big hurdle that we had to work with competing at Miss.
There are travel steamers. So when I went to America last time, I was looking to bring a steamer because I go around with tuxes and things like that, and you don't want them all crumpled up. There are travel steamers that are multi-voltage compatible. I had to find one. It was quite difficult.
Yes.
But on this steamer, there's a setting for 120, 110, 120 volts, and then 220 or 240 volts. So I can travel around with that one, which is perfect. But yeah, just got to look these things up.
Yeah, buy that, because I didn't know I needed it until I needed it, and there wasn't one anywhere near me. So we would also use, I know, right? We would use the Grab app to get things that we needed, and I tried to find one, and there just wasn't one that I could get in time before I was leaving the country. So buy one before you go. I told my mom what we were talking about today, and she required that I talk about this. This is body glue. Okay, so if you're competing in swimsuit at a pageant, just remember that there are parents and grandparents in the audience, and we don't want to scare the grandparents, okay? The first time I competed in a pageant, I was 16 years old. It was Miss Pennsylvania Teen USA. And of course, the Miss contestants compete concurrently with the teens. So my grandparents were in the audience. And when I tell you, my grandfather literally got up and left for the swimsuit competition. He was so freaked out. Please glue your swimsuits in place. Okay. Second thing I have, this is a sunscreen, but it's like a shimmery bronzy one. It's from Coppertone. This is for the swimsuit competition. You can just hose yourself down backstage before swimwear. I like this. It looks really good on stage. Okay.
That was on my list, sunscreen.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
a lot of
necessary.
different kinds that people like to use, but yeah. It's come to my attention that not everybody does this. This is a sewing organizer. You can buy them on Amazon for like $20. Get one that zips, and then you put all of your earrings in it. It's double-sided. And it has stuff on the bottom. So in here, I also have my toe pads. These are for rehearsal. You don't wear them to compete because you can see them, but they're really good to help save your feet during rehearsal. And then I have safety pins. Bring lots of safety pins. If you don't need them, someone else will. And then I also have E6000 over here. So when gems fall off of your gowns or clothing, you can glue them back on. But that is what I have for you today. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
No, that is both amazing and completely unsurprising that you would be that organized with everything. Can you just for the people playing along at home and the uneducated, e.g. me, what is in the first aid box? And do you travel with that size of a first aid box?
If you're going to the Philippines, yes, please do. And you want to especially get stomach medication, which ironically is the only thing that's not in here. I did not get sick at all while I was in the Philippines, but when I tell you every other person I came in contact with got sick in some capacity while they were there,
Right.
you need stuff. So this is a lidocaine patch. So if your feet are just really killing you, this is a good one. I have every size of Band-Aid, and they're organized in different Ziploc bags based on size, so I don't mix them up and I can grab something very quickly. This lived on my nightstand while I was there. Fan interactions at international pageantry can get very close. So I have 3 different kinds of Germex, starting to run out of this one, and I would carry it in my bag, and then this one sprays. So,
She out here shaking hands and then like, ugh.
well, so funny enough, there was a designer that I modeled for while we were there at a media appearance, and I won the gold medal for that challenge for the Americas. And the person that was there helping get content for this designer had spray Purell on her physically. And a fan that was actually kind of stalking me, I had a whole situation while I was there, came up to me, grabbed my hands, shoved a crumpled up piece of paper with something in it into my hands, and then like ran away.
Nah.
And the person that was assisting came over, took it from me, hosed it down in Purell, and then sprayed my hands and like let me wash my hands and decontaminated everything. So it's very necessary. Like you never know what's gonna happen when you're traveling for a pageant, especially at that level where it's like people are just gonna come up to you and grab you.
Yeah.
And you just got to roll with it. And there's going to be TV cameras everywhere while it happens. There's going to be at least 10 different news channels watching you the whole time. And you just have to smile and nod and kind of roll with it. So, yeah, bring your Purell. There's Tylenol and Advil in these little packets. Very nice. Okay, this is nasal spray. When you're traveling, you don't know if you're going to react to the things in that state or in that country. So just bringing extra stuff. There's 2 of them. I get really bad seasonal allergies. More Germex. This is After Bite for mosquito bites.
That stuff is banging.
It is.
It's even if you aren't packing for a pageant, if you're allergic to mosquito bites and you whelped up like I do, I'll get welts this big from a bite. Rub that bad boy on. Done.
I love it. This is New Skin. This is to seal anything.
Yes.
I used this a lot when I got my burn friend here because it was very open for like 2 weeks. It was kind of crazy.
Burns.
Yeah,
It
but you
does
know
burn.
what? It works though.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Burns.
I have Pamprin.
Yes.
I have Benadryl.
Yes.
I have Loratadine. It's an allergy medicine.
Yes.
I have,
Allergy
I can't
medicine.
pronounce that, but it's also allergy medicine.
Mm-hmm.
I have wet wipes.
The Holy
Yep.
Grail.
I also put Clorox wipes in my bag that I took with me everywhere, like my
everything.
tote bag, so that I could like sanitize things near me. Because if you're put backstage in an environment, you don't know what's going to be near you. Good to have. This is a pain relief antiseptic spray.
Actine. We love her.
Oh, you know what's funny? This is not funny, but it happened. So Miss Earth Jamaica, while I was there, I don't remember what she did. I think she stepped on something or stubbed her toe really bad, but her toenail on her big toe lifted off. It was like bleeding, and it was horrible. Okay, so she didn't have anything with her, so we went in my room and we got into all of the stuff, and it was very good to have. So I didn't get sick, but everybody around me did, and I was just like the resident pharmacist because it's hard to get medicine in foreign countries. It's very challenging. So like when my stepdad came over, he had food poisoning from something he ate at the airport and like couldn't find any medication. It was a whole thing. So you want to pack it so that you're self-reliant if anything happens. Eye drops.
Yes.
Toe tape, very important. This is from my point days from dance. So like I love to tape my toes for competition. More Tylenol. Tissues. There were more of them, but I used them. And then, okay, so these are like little, I will show you.
ASMR.
I like with the new mic, you can hear everything.
Okay, these are sticky and you can kind of wrap with them. So like if something is really bad, like a really bad blister or a cut or something on your toe, this has foam in it as well. So you can like close it with a Band-Aid and then wrap this and you'll have the cushioning too so it doesn't get worse.
Oh, that's nifty. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
They have stuff like that for the tennis players because Australian Open is going on, and like Djokovic is having a lot of problems with really bad blisters, really bad on his toes. Obviously, as a tennis player, you're on your toes a lot, and they will put these like giant. They kind of look like that, but almost bigger, and they put it on the blister and then they wrap around it. But they provide a lot of cushioning, so I don't think it makes the blister go like feel nothing. But apparently, it must be very helpful if they're using it over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to add to Haley's medicine box. You need 2, probably 3 different types of tummy medicine.
Yes.
You need an anti-nausea.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good one to have. So think Pepto, nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea. So you need an anti-nausea. You need I can't do that finger by itself. You need an anti-diarrheal because some people get nervous poos. I'm some people. I got a spastic colon. You don't want to be pooping that much. But then you also need a laxative in case you're the opposite and you can't poop because nobody wants a 5-pound poo baby during bikini. So you need 3 different stomach medications all bundled. Don't forget.
There was a title holder.
Gas X.
That's a good one too.
Or Beano, either one. Money.
There was a title holder. I'm not going to name her, but she competed at an international pageant and she was so constipated for so many days that she almost had to go to the hospital and finally pooped. Like the day that they were going to have to take her to the hospital. Okay. And while I was in the Philippines, Adrian, why are you laughing so much? Are you a child?
I mean,
anyway, we did a 3K run and I thought it was hilarious that after we ran, all of these contestants were like, I hope that after this, I'm finally able to poop because I've been so constipated. And I was like, I hope that you guys are able to poop too, because that's important.
The way my girls will be like, because I don't want to say I'm not an overbearing coach, but like there is no such thing as TMI over here. And I think that's one thing that they appreciate about me being a girl is I'll be like, yo, if you pooped, like I need to know because it's something that you don't really want to talk about when you're competing, but like it's very much a normal human thing. The way my girls at the national levels will be like sending me videos of them mixing Miralax into their Starbucks. And I'm just like, go queen, literally try to go queen because you haven't pooped in 2 days. That's a rough one. Is there anything else we would add to the medicine box? Because that was pretty stinking thorough.
Electrolytes.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's like the one thing that I'd heard about, especially if you're going to a hot, humid, tropical country, you dehydrate a lot. And so you need like, we have some sugar-free ones over here. I don't know what you guys recommend, but for real.
There's so many different brands now.
Yeah. I see the liquid IV ones a lot. And then the other thing, if you're traveling to a foreign country, is learning what water is safe to drink because you don't know until you know. So what I did when I got to the Philippines was I only drank water that came out of glass bottles for the first couple of days. And I let everybody else try all the water from everywhere. And I waited to see who got sick. And
honestly, valid.
As it turned out, the filtered water in the hotel lobby in both hotels that I was in was clean. So I just filled up my reusable bottles with that the whole time and everything was fine. did not get sick. The only thing that happened to me, I had some peppermint tea and had like a very slight allergic reaction to it. Just like a little bit of swelling. That was it.
Swelling where, honey?
Just my throat, just a little bit. My throat and my lips. Yeah, nothing
Where you
crazy.
don't want swelling.
I know, yeah, but it wasn't too bad. And we only had rehearsals those days, and it wasn't anything visible. I could just kind of see it.
No.
I would have preferred my big toe swelled.
Don't ever tell me that. Haley, I'm calling the ambulance immediately. The second you're like, I feel like I'm like,
no, because it was like specifically where it had come in contact with my skin and like my mouth. So I knew it wasn't my throat closing up like I was gonna suffocate or anything. It was just a contact reaction. Yeah, and my friend who also drank the peppermint tea had an allergic reaction as well. And we've never reacted to anything peppermint in the States. So I don't know what the difference was there, that we got just a little bit sick on it while we were in the Philippines. But yeah, trying food and water and traveling and watching people get sick or not was very interesting for a few weeks of my life.
That's terrifying. I will say, be real smart if you're going to a new place. Like, do your research. I know that TikTok is used for a lot of, mindless things, and you can just doom scroll, but you can also get on TikTok and learn about things. So do your research in that country. Find out as much information as you can find out. If Google's not getting you there, find traveling vlogs and experiences and learn from them. Because one thing I wouldn't typically think of, but a lot of my women and even like some of my friends who've had to travel internationally for some of these pageants, they love seafood, but then they go over to an international place and they have seafood, and a lot of them have ended up super sick, which is something I would have never thought about not being a cool thing to have when you go to other places. So do your research. Make sure.
So I knew that I shouldn't eat it, but I do like seafood, and I was trying to find things that felt familiar. And so I ate a lot of fish while I was over there. Did not get sick, but be prepared that you might if you're competing in a pageant. And the other thing is, you're going to metabolize things differently because you're under a lot of stress, and it's food that you're not used to, that's cooked in a way that you're not used to. So if it's the night before swimwear or it's 2 days before swimwear, try to eat things that are remotely familiar so they're not going to bloat you out. Don't be surprised the morning of and realize that something did not react well with you.
Yeah, you don't want to be caught with pants.
I have another one. Okay. So a lot of people reacted to the water. So they would get out of the shower and be covered in allergic welts all over their bodies. And we never knew what it was, but it was a mild skin allergy to whatever was used to treat the water or something. But a bunch of girls had that problem.
So add body wipes / deodorant wipes so that if you have,
or just take the Benadryl before you get in the shower, if you figure out what it is.
Take the Benadryl, or if you have to do what we do in the South called drag a rag, then that's what you got to do to stay clean, son.
Maybe. That happens.
It happens.
Also, antiperspirant spray. If you're competing somewhere really hot, even if it's Florida in the middle of summer, hose yourself down, head to toe.
Everything's sweaty.
Everything's sweaty, especially people don't talk about this, but your feet sweat. Yes. And then you're in a 6-inch platform heel, and then your toes are going completely through it because you're swollen and you're slippery. It just doesn't work.
And that's not even just in hot environments. We get the nervous sweats, girls.
We do.
We just get the nervous sweats. And if you're on stage in a bikini in front of a couple hundred, if not 1,000 people, you might have some sweats going on in places that aren't normal. So
I'd be surprised if you didn't. We have the intelligence round for Miss Earth, and we waited in a school. So it's open and there's no air conditioning. So I was in a small classroom with a fan with I think 8 or 9 other contestants, and you wait until it's a couple people before you, and then you go and sit in the hallway where it's also really hot. And then you go into this auditorium and you sit on a stage where it's also really hot, and then there's lights on you. And I was wearing a suit, and I was so hot. and so sweaty. And I had my hair down and it was just like falling because I had curled it and I was trying to like keep it teased, and I was spraying like dry shampoo, trying to keep everything together. And then I got done with the intelligence round and we finished that whole experience. And then they took us on a school tour. And then we got to the end of it and we're in this courtyard and all of these kids are coming up to us wanting pictures and autographs and everything. So we do the thing. Then there's like hot people on you in a hot environment outside under the sun, 90 degrees, high humidity. Y'all, I was like sopping wet.
You're just damp. Everything is damp at that point. Everything is moist. And I know we don't love that word, but it is.
Yeah. So then Joy Barcoma, Miss Earth Philippines, comes up to me and she grabs my hands. She's like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm good. How are you?" And she goes, "Do you have sweaty hands?" I have sweaty hands and I've tried everything and nothing helps. And I was like, "I mean, not normally, but I'm from the USA and it is so hot here." And she felt completely normal. Like she wasn't sweating at all. She was fine. And I was like, this is crazy. I felt ridiculous because it feels like our climate is normal because we live here. You know what I mean? But there were more people who were adapted to that environment than people who weren't. So the super sweaty people were in the minority and I was so embarrassed.
That AC privilege gets real in the US, dude.
It does.
Yeah. Now, I don't know though. Y'all will have to run a trial test because I don't do spray tans. They now also sell like whole body like deodorant, like lotion, basically. It's like a brand. Is it Lumi or something? But it's like a physical, like it's a whole body deodorant. You can rub it anywhere. If you're gonna do that, or if you're gonna use an antiperspirant spray, make sure it doesn't screw up your spray tan either.
Because it will.
It might. I don't know.
Wow.
The Dove antiperspirant spray did not do anything to my tan. Okay. But one thing I did try was a gradual tan lotion. I like the one from Loving Tan. And I would put that on the night before. So I'd like shower and tan. And then if the next morning I wanted to rinse that off and do more gradual tan on top of it, so I didn't like get patchy or anything because I was there for 3 weeks, then I would spray the antiperspirant spray over the gradual tan. And that helped. And it was fine. So like test things before you go somewhere, like do it at home for a couple of weeks and see if it works. But there's a way.
And if you're backstage and you see a girl spraying some Dove deodorant on the back of her knees, mind your business.
Exactly.
We're real nervous. We're just we're just all sweaty boys. Sweaty boys.
I've been around pageants for 10 years and it's amazing. I understand maybe 5% of what you guys are going through. What I will say is we've talked about coaches and, you know, what makes a good coach. Sometimes some coaches like to rely too much on their previous experience. It's like, oh, I won this, you know, weird title that no one's heard about 30 years ago, and that's why you should trust me as your coach. However, I will say there's a big difference when someone has a lived experience. So if someone has been, for example, to the Philippines from America in the middle of a Filipino, what would be summer. I mean, it's warm there all the time. And they do have a lot of like specific advice that I think a lot of people could learn from. So a lot of these things, I don't think most people from America would have ever thought of, or vice versa, you know, us going over there. Because I will say, when I was in Texas last time, it was over 100 degrees every day, but it was a very dry heat.
Yes.
And so it didn't, like, you sweat, but it evaporates before it becomes an issue. But if it's 80 or 90 degrees, but it's 100% humidity, which in the tropics it can be, it just comes with its own set of problems. I know that sweating is a big problem, especially not just heat, but as Peyton said, when you're nervous. But then also I know with the hairstyling and then the color of clothes you wear, and is it fit, is it loose? There's all sorts of things that I think someone who's lived it and done that could really, really help you with. The food thing, I will say, this is one reason I think it was when I was interviewing Berkeley last year, Berkeley Bryant, the former Miss Volunteer America, and she travels everywhere with her, I think it's microwavable, Morgan might be able to tell me, like she has a microwavable oats or something, and she goes everywhere with it. So that might be also something if you are going overseas, particularly to a country, for example, in Bali, which is next to the Philippines. We Aussies call it Bali Belly. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, right?
Yes.
But it's famous for everyone who's going there at some point getting food poisoning. Everyone. And I had one pageant friend who went there, and she's very elegant looking and that, but she's an Australian, so she has a certain way of saying things. And she said she was lying on the bathroom floor with it coming out of both ends. So when and the reason, by the way, Haley, I was laughing so much before is because Peyton last week was going on about suppositories, and that's all I could think of in my head now was going through this connection of what you're talking about, being constipated and suppositories.
That's fair. That's fair.
I
Yeah.
was laughing too much. But I will say, before I go to Peyton, and Peyton, if I don't know how much you have to add after all of that, but in terms of bringing the drugs over, I mean, the painkillers and things like that, is that something that you have to be careful about declaring?
So, okay, when you're competing in an international pageant, first of all, we had to register before we went into the country. There's like an app that you use to get into the Philippines specifically, but
Right.
you're considered a diplomat traveling. So I got to skip that whole process. There was this huge line to go through customs, and they took me right past it. And the guy checked my passport. He gave me a little stamp and then sent me to baggage claim.
Wow.
So it's so different to compete internationally because you actually are a diplomat the whole time you're there, and everything you do makes you feel like a member of the United Nations, because we met with the military. Every group met a different branch of the military. I had dinner next to a general. They seated me there with the two highest ranking officers in the room with Miss Earth Philippines, and that was one of my days. So you're doing really important work while you're there, and it's super cool, but you kind of get some privileges too. It's like being famous in a foreign country for a few
I have
weeks.
Wild.
never heard this before. When I flew
I don't
to
think it's
America,
common knowledge.
I don't get treated like a diplomat. I was lucky I didn't get cavity searched.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I got to speed run that whole thing. It was
That's
I am
nice.
so jealous now. If there's one thing that I want when I get to an airport, it's to cut the queue. Because when I landed in Dallas or wherever it was, the TSA people there, they don't care if you miss your flight or not. They really don't care. Someone went up to her and said, "Oh, I'm going to miss my flight." And there was like a half-hour, 40-minute queue because the X-ray scanning machines, there were 6 lanes and only 2 were open, because that makes sense. And she's like, "Back of the queue is there."
Ooh.
At least in Australia, if you say that, they will let you cut to the front because they don't want you to miss your flight. So getting treated as a diplomat, very jealous.
That's crazy.
I have a question for you. Would you say it's more normalized to run late in Australia than it is in the US?
It really depends. Look, us Aussies have a thing for being laid back, but a large city is a large city. It's pretty much the same everywhere. I think Aussies tend to be a bit more relaxed, so I don't think they have a reputation for running late. But
Okay.
compared to you, because you are so hyper organized, as demonstrated like 10, 20 minutes ago, I think Australians might seem like they're living on, what Hawaiians like to call island time.
Okay.
What's the time? It's hair past the freckle. Why
I get
do
you.
you ask?
I'm just curious. So I was over there. Okay, this is another story. I don't want to take up too much time. I'm sorry, guys. But we were at dinner, and I was sitting next to Miss Earth India, and I love her. She's a good friend, okay? And we're eating dinner, and I didn't know her that well yet, and I noticed that sometimes when I would talk, she would just kind of look at me like, and eventually I realized what it was, and I was like, "Wait, am I your first American?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh no." Have I said anything weird? Have I made Americans look weird? Like, if I'm your first interaction with an American, that's a little scary, And I started asking the girls, like, what is your view of Americans? Like, what do you think of us? What did you think before you met me? And I wasn't most people's first American, is what I will say. It was rare that I met somebody where I was like their first interaction with an American citizen. You know what I mean? But I was told that we're known to be very friendly and very passionate. And Miss Earth England was like, I wouldn't say loud, I would say passionate. And I was like, oh no.
Okay, so in order of, if I wanted to gradually introduce one of my friends to what Americans are like, Haley, I'd introduce you first because you're the least, I'm not going to say least offensive, but you're the most moderate. Then we'll go to Peyton because Peyton, the only thing she said last week was it really grinds my gears or grinds my chat or something like that, chaps my gears. So she has a few of the, the cute, I will say Southern, and that's different. And then lastly would be Morgan, because Morgan would terrify the pants off everyone and she met.
That's true. That's true. From being at Miss Earth, that's probably true. But I love you. We love it.
We love it. We love it.
The thing is, I don't know if you guys understand this from an international perspective, and this is something that I had to learn. There's no such thing as Americans, because you guys are so wildly different in every aspect, not just accent and things. Like whether you come from East Coast, West Coast, South, North, or from New York, Jersey, California, Texas, you're all so different. And also there's a massive difference from my perspective with Americans who've only lived in America and those who've actually traveled overseas. Because I feel like when you've done that, then it opens your eyes to the rest of the world. And so it's, for me, like Australians are kind of, I don't want to say all the same because we're very multicultural, but it like someone from Sydney versus Melbourne, it's not a huge difference. We'll argue back and forth who's got the best coffee, whatever, but it's not, you won't notice it hugely. Whereas in England, you have the remnants of the class system. So you have someone who's very posh. That's the English accent you guys all love, as opposed to the working class, which is more Cockney, like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. They're very different as well. There are so many different accents in the UK. But I got to say, when it comes to America, I mean, someone from the deep south compared to someone who lives on the West Coast, you might as well come from different planets. It's
That's
like,
fair.
What do you have that's actually in common apart from living in the same country? You're also wildly different, which I find is a great thing, by the way. But it's very difficult to answer how like Australians or Brits would view Americans. I do think we think of you as loud, but I think that's almost your older generation, because my parents went on an Antarctic cruise and there were a couple of, let's say, larger Americans there who all they wanted to do was eat at the buffet. They were sort of upset that it didn't have their kind of favorite food, and they just spent all their time complaining. And I think that's sometimes a negative stereotype people have about Americans, but I don't think that's true anymore.
Yeah,
So.
I can see that. I had asked if they thought we were loud because I noticed that every time I would ask someone a question, they were so quiet that I was having to ask them to repeat themselves. And I don't know what was going on over that couple of days where everyone was so quiet. I think maybe we were just tired, but it was definitely interesting to see all of the cultural differences between all of us while I was there, because like all of my roommates were from Latin America. So we had a lot of language things happening as well, which was really fun. Funny enough, go ahead.
If no one is loud or passionate compared to the Latin Americans. Okay.
Well, so my roommate at Joy Nostalge was Jamaica. So she and I shared a room together and we got along super great. I love her. She's hilarious. And then in our hotel room, but not in like our specific room because we were sharing a suite, we also had El Salvador, Chile, and Venezuela, and they were hilarious and I love them so much.
Y'all must have been raging in there. That sounds like a party.
It was a party every night. We had a dance party every single night. Yes. It was the best.
They be showing me how to do them things on my hips.
Literally, it was so fun. So El Salvador is from El Salvador, but she currently lives in California, and Jamaica is currently going to school in Florida. And so I spoke English and they spoke English. Venezuela only spoke Spanish and Chile was learning a little bit of English. So like we had El Salvador translating in real time every single sentence that we were saying in English, and then vice versa, so that we could all understand each other. And it was really entertaining. But yeah, there was a lot of dance parties.
I love it.
It was the best. I loved it.
Freaking iconic.
That's
I
the
feel bad.
that's the international pageant experience for you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
glad to see that you enjoyed yourself. Unfortunately, this is all the stuff that we just spoke about this last week. It's like you rarely get to see the actual what's going on, and all we see is the on stage. But there's so much that goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. So, guys, if you have any questions about that, then you can hit us up in the comments. Miss Peyton has been sitting there very patiently
Sorry.
and very quietly absorbing the amount of information that. Can you tell Haley wasn't on last week because she needed
Oh my
to
God.
she flowed with
missed
the
us.
yapping. She's making up for lost.
Apologies.
It's okay, Haley. We love that about you. This is why she calls herself a professional yapper. Peyton, you got anything to add, or do you just want to say
I
ditto what she
do.
said?
No, she
Good.
marked off a good many things off of my list. However,
Good.
Haley is not the gremlin. So, some gremlin things that are needed for those of us that are not, I don't know, what would you call that? Sane? I don't know.
I'm
Yeah,
so
same.
interested to see where this is going.
And
Haley is
neurodivergent? I don't
insane.
know what you want to say.
This is for the
Haley is
feral
insane,
girls.
but she
Yeah.
I don't know
This
what
is for
this
the feral
means.
girls. So, you had a lot of Tylenol. Love Tylenol, love acetaminophen. Also love a goodies powder. Y'all, there's caffeine in that. Okay.
Yeah.
And if there's one thing I need during that week, it is caffeine. Do I sleep? No, not much. Is that healthy? No. Should I carry melatonin? That'll probably be in my medical box at Miss Volunteer America. Electrolytes, we got that. Okay, duct tape. Haley, you are such a lady. I love you.
Oh, I used an extra large Band-Aid. I know where you're going
Yeah.
with this.
Yes. And yes, you can. And that's probably you all know what I'm talking about. Adrian doesn't, and I'm not going to explain it. Everyone
No.
that knows what I'm talking about, raise your hand. Okay, all the women in the room, raise your hand. I have duct tape.
I feel Haley's mum told me about this. I'm not going to ask you on air. I think I know what you're talking about. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Pretty
Yeah.
Mom did tell me about that. That was an emergency CVS run.
They
Yes,
sell
yeah.
stickers
You have-
for that.
I couldn't find any.
I know, but they're not very good. And they don't really stick. Okay?
Oh.
Like we're dealing with things, it has to stick and it has to stay. It can't move. I've used that, and I don't know, Haley, maybe this is a dancer thing. I don't really know where I'm getting this tape from, but I get this tape and it's got like cushion on it. I believe it's for your toes. I believe it's like to wrap your feet in.
Just medical tape, and we do use that in dance too. But it's like
yeah, it's like a foam and it's got glue on the bottom of it. And that works great too. Is it as sticky? No, it's not as sticky. Duct tape is what we use. Okay. Safety pins, you said that. Boiled eggs. Well, yes, you have to eat, right? And if you're neurodivergent, you're not cooking. You're not thinking about eating out. If somebody asks you if you want food, the answer is probably no. I have to have instant mac and cheese, boiled eggs, protein bars, anything that will fit in my bag that I can consume that won't get hair on it. Okay. Anything. I need the nutrition and it's not going to happen otherwise.
Do you mean hair or do you mean mold?
Both.
Okay.
You know, you put bobby pins in the bottom of your bag, there's hair on that. And if it's loose, it's going to get hair on it. And that's something y'all know. I don't do hair. That's disgusting.
Right.
So boiled eggs, you know, along that same vein, out of a bag, eat the food. Morgan's now over there planning my week of competition. Earring backs. You can buy those on I knew you were going to have those too.
I forgot. My
You
friend
can buy like a
DM'd me.
giant box because everybody in the room is going to lose the back of their earrings. Yes, you can buy them in a box just like that. That I recommend you buying. And if everybody has one, then everybody is covered. Spare earrings as well. Something that I do is pack like a maniac. I have, and this is going to blow some people's minds. Not everybody can do this. Okay. Again, I feel very blessed. I love the gown that I wore to Miss Georgia Volunteer. I have worn it many a time. It is not what I'm wearing to Miss Volunteer America, but it will be coming with me because God forbid, I have seen it happen to so many girls at so many pageants. whether it's sabotage or not, because I've seen that too. Something happens to your gown and it can't go on stage. And then what are you going to do?
Yes.
I have full blown a backup talent costume, a backup swimsuit, a backup gown, and I just have a really big bag. And sometimes they let you bring it into the competition space and sometimes you're not allowed to. At least it's with you and it fits. And you know, if there's an emergency, somebody will go get that for you.
Mm-hmm.
So back up everything. A label maker. I use this a lot before I get there. Again, I think I'm probably neurodivergent. I'm not as organized as Haley, but every single outfit that I'm going to wear is planned. It is all in a giant Ziploc bag, and I label it per the day that I'm going to wear it to. It has the earrings, it has the socks, it has the underwear, it has the bra, all of it in one plastic bag. I smash it, and I label it with the day that I'm going to wear it. It all stays together. I have, again, backups in my bag, but everything is in an individual bag, individually wrapped, like my packed lunch. And that is how I dress myself for the week of competitions. It just keeps me organized. Nothing gets lost. Everything gets worn like it's supposed to. And you're not disappointed because you forgot an outfit, because that happens to me all the time. My number one backstage have to have, can't go without, is pixie sticks. You will not see me without a pixie stick in my hand if I am backstage at a show, at a pageant, helping somebody. When I went to go MC a couple of months ago for the Shakespeare Festival of Rome, I had pixie sticks backstage. It's just something I have to have. I don't really do energy drinks very much, but pixie sticks, yes. Yes, Morgan.
As a coach and someone who encourages you carrying sugar on you because, rehearsals can run long, blood sugar can drop, you feeling like a real sketchy boy out of nowhere, please, for the love of all things holy, listen to me when I tell you this. Peyton.
Not the blue ones.
Thank you.
I know.
Please stick with pinks and reds, because if you win and you are a yeller, when I won, the only national pageant I did and I won, I yelled and you could see my tonsils. I am a big mouth girl. You do not want to be screaming on the Miss Volunteer America stage with a purple or blue tongue.
Yes. And I've done that before.
Colored, this color, whatever the inside color is, keep it around that, please. No blue.
I will go with just straight up packets of sugar as well. It's just something I have. I just adore pixie sticks. But yeah, the orange ones are mostly the ones that I eat. They're also the easiest to get off your teeth. The red ones do kind of stick like to your gums and the plaque and things. Another thing I keep with me is a toothbrush. Enough said. An extra lip combo. In every bag, in every purse, in every toiletry bag with your tampons, whatever you have to do, it's going to come off. I don't care what you say. I don't care if it's matte. I don't care if it's liquid. I don't care. It's coming off. You're going to eat. You're going to drink. You're going to talk. You're going to lick your lips. You're going to get dehydrated. You have to have an extra lip combo. Otherwise, you're naked. Mm-hmm. And I don't like that. Okay. Back up. Sharpies. You're going to need them. I don't know why, but you're probably going to need them. Sunscreen is one that I was going to say that I thought was pretty unhinged, but I'm glad somebody else does that. I buy the cheapest sunscreen I can get a hold of. I find that it's got more oils in it, and it really lays the sheen on thick for swimsuit. Really makes you look super toned. Everything looks tight and glossy and shiny, and you look like, porcelain.
Pretty. It's so pretty.
She's gorgeous.
Tinted, and she has glitter.
She's so pretty.
Just giving you options.
Gorgeous. Extra packs of lashes. I feel like that's self-explanatory too, but I reuse lashes, so I know somebody else does too. Just bring an extra pack. You're probably going to need it, or somebody's going to need it. And that's another thing with like bringing extra underwear, bringing extra appearance outfits, whatever. I am the type of person, I get backstage, and this is not to whatever. I get backstage and everybody in the room, I go, if you need anything, you can have the shirt off my back. It would be my worst nightmare for me to have a spare gown and one of the girls' gowns rips down the middle and there's nothing they can do. Mm-hmm. You can have my spare gown or the gown that I was going to wear. I don't care, because none of us is going to walk out there on stage after we've all worked so hard, put so much time, effort, and money into that. And I implore you all to be like that too. I do it because I would hope somebody else would do that for me as well. being backstage. Not that you have to bring an extra gown for somebody else, right? But just have that kind of kindness backstage. That's something else I pack. Is the kindness that we need. We're all girls. This is all, yeah, it's a competition. Okay, whatever. This is a vulnerable moment for all, 51 of us that it's going to be at Miss Volunteer America. A little bit of empathy goes a really long way when you're backstage in a stressful environment. So that's something else I bring with me.
And
if I can
that's
think
one
of
thing
anything
I'll
else,
say. Volunteer, I mean, all of the national pageants, you get the sisterhood, but volunteer, my girls, every time they come back after nationals, it's like a different level of sisterhood with you guys, to where a lot of them were like, it didn't even feel like a competition. Like, it just felt like chilling with the homies. So yeah, be the nice one backstage, please.
Well, and there's also a way for you to be the nice one backstage and not give up your peace, right?
Yeah,
like, you still have to keep that with you. It still is a competition, and you want to do your best. So don't sacrifice what you have built for yourself in that moment for somebody else, but give them all of the grace, all of the empathy, and all of the energy you can in that moment.
Yep.
That's all we ask. Don't sacrifice what you've put forward, but also, we're sisters. Come on. Don't leave them out to dry.
Period.
Yeah, there was a, I mean, pageantry is very often labeled as sport. And I will say I know tennis because that's been my thing. There was a pretty famous match maybe 10, 15 years ago. It was two Americans who were playing in the final, Pete Sampras and Andre Agassi. And Sampras got sick. I think he got food poisoning before the final, couldn't keep any food down, was vomiting, throwing up the entire night. You guys probably know what that's like. You know, we've all had the food poisoning. And Sampras requested for the match to be moved from the morning time to later in the evening, because, you know, otherwise he barely would have been able to stand. And Agassi allowed it. He allowed it. They played at night, and he lost. And the thing that always struck me was that Agassi has been asked, you know, oh, do you regret doing that? You know, do you wish you would have played in the morning? He said, no. Like, if I wasn't able to beat him at his best, then I didn't deserve the win. And I've never heard anything that I've resonated with like so much, because why, like, if you've got a spare gown and there's some poor girl whose dream gown just ripped or was sabotaged, why, if you had it in your capacity to help, would you not? Right. That is something that I do not understand. I do not comprehend. And don't tell me it's about being competitive, because if you really are a competitor, you want to beat the best. That's what competition is. You don't want to win because someone's heel snapped off and you wouldn't lend them your spare. Like that just makes no sense to me.
Dude, at North Carolina, USA, the year Kinsey Hansley won, her bikini broke backstage. And these girls were literally, I mean, y'all know how it is backstage when you're in bikini, everybody's running around half naked, changing, throwing things. These women were pulling the bikinis off of their bodies, being like, you can take mine, here, go. Like, that's, and that's your competition. But that's also, I think, just the innate sisterhood that exists of being a woman. Like, there, you know, not everyone is going to be the girl's girl that we hope everyone is, but 99.9% of them, it wouldn't shock me if they're taking off their evening gown, putting it on the next girl, and the audience is like, wait, didn't we just see that? But if that's what they have to do, they'll do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best of us. And it's not just to be fair, it's not just women either. I think it's just basic human kindness and empathy. And, you know, God, could we use a big dose of that? One thing that I just wanted to circle back to is, because both Haley and Peyton, you both seem pretty organized, and that doesn't surprise me. I just have a remark, because I think when you're neurodivergent, Haley with the ADHD, Peyton, you've got your OCD, I've got the ADHD, Morgan also just undiagnosed. I think one thing is your brain can run very hot and takes up a lot of energy. And I think as people, because Peyton, you said protect your peace. And I just want to hone in on that, because I think when you are at a pageant, there are so many things that demand your focus. I think the last thing you want to be worried about is, what outfit am I supposed to wear today? Which lipstick do I put on? Which shoes? And I think just having it labeled like you do, Peyton, with day one, wear this. Because if there's one thing about having that neurodivergence, it's like you can spend so much of your mental energy worrying about things that you don't need to worry about. It's just nice to say, wear this, wear this, wear this, and you've pre-planned it. So there's no thought required. And so you can spend your mental energy, frankly, being kind, but also being present and maybe even enjoying the process. So I love the fact that you two are that organized. And I think there's a very good reason for it, specifically if you're neurodivergent and listening to this. You do not want to be running around like chaos, because you might think it's funny until it's not, right? I mean, the other women hopefully there will support you, but I don't think you should be running around disorganized, because I don't think that's a good look. And I would mark you down as a title holder if I thought you were disorganized. One thing I wanted to ask all of you about, do you have any tips for traveling within the United States? And I ask this specifically because my time traveling in the States through airports was horrific. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. I'm good friends with Haley Hurst, who was Miss Virginia volunteer last year. And she said she had like 17 or 18 flights in a row, and 17 of them had run late or were canceled. And on the 18th one, which ran to time, they lost her luggage. So, because the last thing we need is stress when we're going to a pageant, losing your luggage, turning up 2 hours late, and so you miss registration. Anyone have any tips? We'll go around the room so we don't have to hear one another. But Haley, any tips for traveling within the States?
Your carry-on is going to be your best friend. That's your emergency container. If anything gets lost, it's not going to be the stuff that's physically on your person. So taking advantage of your personal item and your carry-on is very important. I'm very organized with my flights, and I'm careful about who I book with. There was an airline that for my first trip as Miss Earth USA left me stranded in New York City. Do not fly that airline anymore. It would not take you many guesses to figure out which airline it was. I'm going to leave that one there. But just being conscious of who you're booking with can also make a difference. Before I pass the mic, really quickly, this is very unhinged, and my neurodivergent girlies are going to love it. When you get that pageant itinerary with all of the events that you're going to be going to and all the mixers and things, make yourself a Google document. You're going to title it social media, and then you're going to put the date, and then you're going to put the event in the order that it's going to occur. And you're going to pre-write those captions and pre-choose the music that's going to go on those posts. It cuts your time in half. Peyton.
Shameless plug. I don't care. Okay. I've been working with Julia for 6 months now, right? 4 Points Media and Marketing. She is going to be, if anybody from Miss Volunteer America is listening, please. She's going to be at Miss Volunteer America, and that is one of the services she is offering to all of the title holders, not just me. Pre-planning and pre-doing all of the posts, helping you brainstorm that ahead of time before you get there. So it's not even, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. It's just whenever we get the itinerary, whenever we get, we even kind of have an idea of what's going to go on now, right? So you can kind of start with that. If you want to do it by yourself, do it by yourself. But that's something Julia is actually going to be offering at Miss Volunteer America, is helping you pre-plan all of your posts so that all you have to do is put the picture on it and hit go. Yes. It's so much easier. It's so much easier.
Now I will say with Julia, I'll jump on and double down on what you're saying, Peyton. I interviewed Julia because I saw the work she was doing with you, Peyton, and I thought this is a service that so many people could use, because I want you guys as title holders to be present and so you can enjoy yourself, not sitting in the corner by yourself thinking that you're going to write a caption and there's music and you have no idea, and then 5 hours later you don't post anything. I think that's stupid. The other thing I will say about Julia is she's a former pageant contestant herself, and so she knows what it's like, and it wasn't that long ago. And so I did a post the other day recommending walking coaches. There were only 3 that I recommend. When it comes to social media, she's pretty much the only person I would recommend, because I know she knows what she's doing and I've seen the results, and I know she's worked with you, Peyton, and I know that you've had an amazing time, maybe as someone who's not as fluent in social media as some of the others. And I like social media, but I hate social media. Like, if it could just post by itself, I would never touch the thing. I know, and this is ironic because I just passed 10,000 followers on Instagram, but I would just as soon not have it. I get that it's super important. I don't like having to be on social media. I would rather sit down with you and talk. And when I put up a post about the only personal trainer I recommend, obviously it's going to be Morgan. right? And so when I do these recommendations, I take them super seriously. Like, I need to know the person, otherwise I'm not going to recommend them. But when it comes to social media, backing up what you said about Julia, Peyton, and also what Haley said, it's just another load off our brain, right? Because of the neurodivergence,
Yes.
when our brains are running hot, and it's like your gas tank by lunch is gone already, because every decision you make eats into the allowance that's in here, and you don't want to waste it on, where did I put my toothpaste? What lipstick am I going to wear? What shoes did I think? What's the caption? And then by the time you get to lunch, you're gone.
Yes.
Or
it's
not
1 in the morning. A lot of the times you rehearse until very, very late, and you are mentally and physically exhausted, and you have to get up at 5 a.m. to get ready for prelims or what have you. Even earlier, I've gotten up at 3 a.m. for hair and makeup and sat there trying not to fall asleep. There is no time to do the thought out, the intentional social media posts that you want to make. You don't want to make something casual and be like, oh, did this today. Cute. Like, love my outfit, tag all the people. You want to make intentional posts because you're experiencing this week for the first and only time, and you're feeling all of these feelings. And, maybe you do have time to go into that post and add in little bits and little details of special things that happen during that day. It's still going to take such a load off of you if it's 1 a.m. and you don't have any more brain power left, and you still need to put the post up, because people want to see the content specifically during competition week, and we want to be seen. We want more people to experience this, right? And we want to bring in more sponsors and more supporters. And the only way to do that is to stay relevant on social media. And as much as we might hate it, it has to be done. And you aren't going to have the time. You're just not.
Yeah. It's the difference between sleep and not sleep. Sorry.
Yes.
No. By the way, the added advantage of having those posts ready to go, especially, is when the whole thing is over, and let's say if you didn't win, or you did win, but especially when you didn't win, and then you don't post anything for 3 days. We know why you're not posting anything. It's because you're bitter. Okay, it's not because you're that tired. Like, have something ready to go, and please, guys, thank your sponsors. You can so easily ruin an entire system's legacy because you don't tag the sponsors. And you might go, I didn't win, suck it. No, because then you impact the next girl. Because let's say Peyton doesn't do the thing, right, that she's supposed to with her sponsors, or she doesn't treat them professionally. By the way, even if it doesn't go always in reverse, always be professional, please. But if Peyton mistreated a sponsor, guess what? Her successor then gets to eat that. So I know, Haley, we're going on slightly side tangent here, but Haley, did you have anything to add in terms of what you were talking about with the social media or the traveling within the States?
Peyton, what you said reminded me, also make a list of who you need to tag on those posts when you're pre-planning stuff, because then you don't have to think about it. Because if I have 5 minutes between one event and the next, I can step aside in my hotel room and do that in 3 minutes if I already know what I'm doing, and it's super quick. And then you're the most active person on social media while you're competing. And a lot of pageants have a social media score now. So it's really important that you are getting those posts out there. And it's a long day and it's mentally exhausting, and you're there for at least a week. So at a certain point, creative energy is gone. So you want to write those in your best mental state before you get there.
Yep, 100%.
All right, Peyton, any tips for traveling within the States?
Ooh. Well, I'm a Georgia girl. We all know one thing about Georgia. Hartsfield-Jackson. What is it? Still the biggest, I should know this, the biggest airport in the world? Is it still in the world?
Wow.
Busiest too.
Busiest and largest. Okay. If I have learned anything from Hartsfield-Jackson, which is really the only airport I've ever flown out of, other than flying back home, be aware of your surroundings. Safety first, girls. Okay. I have bright luggage, and if I don't have bright luggage, I have a bright luggage tag. It all looks the exact same. You're going to end up grabbing somebody else's luggage and be like, whoopsie, and put it right back, and vice versa. Somebody else is going to touch yours. Okay. Have a marker, anything on your luggage that you can stand, a ribbon. I've seen people tie pretty bows on their luggage, and that's just how they differentiate. Something you don't care about getting destroyed either. It's going to get destroyed. Again, like Haley said, be careful of what airlines you choose. And if you can drive.
Yeah.
I would much rather drive 8 hours than take a 1 hour flight and lose my luggage. If you
Yes.
can drive. If you got the time, if you have a reliable vehicle, if you have somebody that can drive with you and keep you up, drive. It's also fun, and you can do the social media planning. You can, talk it all out, get it all out before the week starts. I just think it's healthier in many different ways, and also better for your skin, because airplane air is not fun. You don't want an airplane breakout before a pageant. But hey, if Miss California is coming all the way to Tennessee, I don't really expect her to drive. So flying is what has to happen. If it has to happen, mark your luggage so you don't lose it. Put an air tag in it. It's always a good idea. So you at least have eyes, and it gives you a peace of mind. Mark it.
If you have to fly, don't fly looking busted.
Yeah, people are looking for you.
People are looking for you. Do not listen. I'm rolling up looking like Adam Sandler because I'm not competing on the stage. So, like, your girl's in mismatched sweatpants looking like her husband's little brother and less like his wife. Y'all don't fly looking busted. If you drive, you can pull into a McDonald's or an Arby's, hop in the bathroom, change, and come right back out looking good. No one's going to see you. Do not fly looking busted. Somebody going to see you. Doesn't mean you're going to lose the pageant, but somebody's going to see you.
Can I tell you something crazy? Okay.
If you flew looking busted,
Let me tell you something.
That's a really good one. Thank you for that. Okay, so I flew from Cleveland. I flew from Cleveland to LA, which was 4 hours. And then I was in LA for 12 hours. And then I flew 15 hours to the Philippines. I was awake for like 36 hours before I ended up in LA. I pulled an all-nighter to finish packing. It took me longer than I thought. Start packing a week or two before, by the way. Side note, leave those bags out and open and start stacking stuff way earlier. But I did my makeup on the plane from Cleveland to LA. And then I washed it off. And then in the last 2 hours of my flight on Philippine Airlines, I did my makeup, and it was the middle of the night. So it was dark on the plane, and I talked to the stewardess, and they were so sweet. They let me stand in the back where they get ready in front of their little mirror with their lights and get ready. And then I changed into my suit in their cabin, like where they sleep on that plane. And they were so kind to me. So if you're traveling internationally for a pageant and you need to do that, it's okay to do that. And don't be afraid to be like, hi, I'm so sorry. I'm Miss USA and I'm competing for this title. Would you be willing to let me do this? I'm so sorry. Like, and just be very grateful. And also bringing snacks as a peace offering will help you to that end. Yeah.
Yes.
Be
nice
to
your
around
stewardesses. But
Seriously.
also, that would have been the perfect blog, full beat at 30,000 feet. Could
I
you
know.
imagine?
I know. I felt
that goes
so bad.
hard.
Yeah, it was really dark in there. And I was trying
That
not
goes
to identify
hard.
myself because I was chopped. All right. I was in a t-shirt and sweatpants. Like things were looking rough at that point
But
in
you
the
didn't
journey.
land looking like that, girl. You
Oh,
landed.
you did your job.
Ready.
You did your job.
That's right.
Face was done.
Yeah. And if you want to like spray the hypochlorous acid spray the whole time you're on the plane
Good
and then do the
stuff.
makeup right before you get
Good
off,
stuff.
that works. Even like domestically in the States, you're flying 3 hours, do the makeup on the plane.
You're in the car for 8.
Do it.
I
it.
forgot something earlier.
Okay.
I have not experienced what Haley experienced with the heat and sweat. I mean, yeah, outside. Okay, Georgia's hot. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm real close to Florida. Don't get me wrong. It's hot and it's humid. It's not dry. It's humid. It's wet. Okay.
Swampy.
Every pageant I have ever been to is the most frigid. I don't know why it's so cold. I've also been warned over and over and over again that Miss Volunteer America, that the actual stage space is freezing. I've been warned so many times. A Snuggie, a electric blanket if you can get away from it. I have, and I wish I had it right here. It's normally in this little basket. I have like this Snuggie sort of kinda, and it's made out of sleeping bag material. One of my best friends, Alex, got it for me, I believe, from IKEA. We had matching ones. They're yellow and pink. They've got a hood. It's long sleeve, but they're sleeping bag material, so it's genuinely so warm without being like texture warm.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You know, and so you can sweat and it's not like a big deal. Whereas if you sweat in one of those real snuggies, it gets stinky.
Gross.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, blankets and things, same thing in a car, blankets and things, change of clothes. And also with the flying, again, especially in Hartsfield Jackson, if any of you are flying to Georgia, please just call me. I will walk you through it. I know where everything is. Get there abhorrently early. As early as you can stand or you can physically do. I don't care what airport you're at, actually. Just get there and make sure you have all of your things and make sure you have enough time to forget something and turn around and go back and get it and come all the way right back and still be early for your flight. Be early. It's an important flight. It's like the most important flight of your life, basically. Just get there early.
Hey, sorry, Morgan, you go.
Weirdly enough, I still have a list because they didn't knock them all off of my list yet. But if you are going to fly too, and you're flying very far distances, you know, quick flight, no biggie. If you're flying very far, compression socks. If you know that you are prone to swelling. And my girls at Miss USA, there have been years where they've all worn compression socks flying and they called themselves the Granny Gang. But compression socks, if you know you are prone to swelling, if you know your ankles and your feet are prone to swelling, and they're also just good for you when you're having to fly a lot. But please, compression socks.
I like that.
Yeah.
The one thing maybe that I could say, having taken flights that are sometimes 20 hours nonstop, hydrate before.
Yes.
The air, I don't know what it is about air in airlines, it dries you out. So, okay, makeup is one thing, but you want to be hydrated on the inside because if you're not, that's also going to lead to you being sick. That'll also lead to constipation. I personally would not eat a lot either. If you eat a lot on the plane or before the plane, that draws in all the water. You're going to become more dehydrated. And let's face it, no one wants to be using the bathroom on an airplane unless absolutely necessary. Hydrate before. I went to America, 16, 20-hour flight. I didn't eat anything I said no thank you to the meals. Like, what am I missing out on, right? Nothing. But there's another thing I'm going to circle back to is sleep, because I want to get, if you guys have any sleep tips, because I cannot sleep at all, just in general. But on long flights, the compression socks, I get aisle seats because then if I want to get up and walk, I'm not climbing over someone when I'm over 6 foot tall. And I will frequently just get up and go for a walk. I'll get my water, and I'm drinking water pretty much the entire time. And then as eye drops, I know Haley had them. I take them my carry-on because as someone who had laser surgery, my eyes dry out anyway. So that, and even as a dude, I'm taking chapstick because the other thing I found, it's so dry there, your lips start cracking and bleeding, and it's absolutely horrific. Yep. And then you just get to the 16-hour, 20-hour flight, and you feel a little bit more human. Because no one, I guarantee you, is in a great mood after you've been trapped in a sardine can for 20 hours with a bunch of other sweaty people and a crying kid who's kicking your shoe. You might be the, like, if anyone who could do it would be you. I'm ropeable at the end of a flight. I'm like, get me off this thing. Like, I'm always excited the first 5 minutes. After that, take off. Now I got to sit here 20 hours. I don't like sitting down at the best of times. And sitting down when I have no leg room, being tall, it's not my idea of fun. So those are just my general tips, not packing tips at all. I just want to go to the sleep thing, but before we do, has anyone, Haley, go.
Okay, I went to get a prop. This is for the title holders who are traveling. This is a base bag. I'm gonna flip this over.
Base.
Base, however you say it, right? Mm-hmm. So this is big enough that my entire Miss Earth USA crown will fit inside of it. I know people love the sparkly crown cases. I'm sorry, but it's not safe. Oh. Please do not travel with that thing out open on a plane, in an Uber, walking around New York City or anywhere else. Put it in a black, inconspicuous bag. And then this has the Miss Earth USA logo. And then on the other side, like my information, it's just a luggage tag. I also put these on all of my suitcases for pageant things. But yeah, please don't travel with your crown out just for safety purposes. Don't do that.
That's just common sense. I really think, but
You'd be
I think
shocked.
we need to say it. No, we absolutely need to say it because common sense is not that common. I did have a friend who, you know, you can get personalized luggage, and she had her face put on. I think she had 2 or 3 luggages, and they all had her face on it. So I hate it, like going to the baggage claim and I can never find my luggage. And in fact, TSA, someone decided to take my bag when I was doing my transfer over in the States and put it in the back corner of the room. I have no idea why they did that. No one would help me find it. So I don't know what was going on there. But if you have your face on it, probably no one's going to be able to take it. But can I ask you guys, when you get to your pageant or before the pageant, you're all nervous, you're a bunch of whatever. And for me, sleep. You need sleep. You can't function without it. I sleep poorly at the best of times. But if you're traveling, 8-hour car trip, 20-hour flight, international, different food, different people, maybe different language. Do you guys have any tips as to what works to help you get back onto a sleep schedule, especially if there's a time zone change? And I say this, I sometimes think a catastrophic time zone change is better because your body goes, I don't know what's going on. I'll get used to it. I sometimes find like when it goes from daylight savings to not, and now it's just an hour different, I feel like it takes me sometimes a week to get used to it. But as someone who sleeps really badly, do you guys have any tips for getting a good night's sleep when you're feeling anxious about the pageant coming up? I can just see Peyton doing this. So Peyton, I'm assuming like you're like me, you sleep badly at the best of times.
I have insomnia on a good day. Let me know. I don't sleep anyways.
Me too. Don't ask me for sleeping tips. I've tried the melatonin. I've tried not doing the coffee. Caffeine helps me sleep, weirdly enough, an ADHD thing. But the right side of our screen, Haley, Morgan, any sleeping tips?
I'm going to let Morgan go first.
Okay. From what I have watched for the past years with my queens, first and foremost, go into even a state level pageant, but especially national and international, dude, go into it knowing you're not going to be running on a lot of sleep. Just go ahead and mentally prepare yourself for that. Outside of the fact that your schedule is going to be completely like insane. I've got girls up at 3 o'clock in the morning for hair and makeup. Like Peyton was saying, literally, that's not an exaggeration, at 3 o'clock in the morning in the hair and makeup chair. Go ahead and be mentally prepared for that. Melatonin, I know some people love it. Majority of my girls, it doesn't work well for. So that's not even something I'm going to automatically suggest, but I'm also not going to suggest, please do not go in to any of these pageants and being like, oh, I'm just going to take some like NyQuil or what is it, Z-Quil or whatever. Do not, please. Y'all, that can make you so groggy for the entire next day. It can completely disorient you. It can screw you up really bad. So don't do that. Yeah. My softest tips I could give you that have seemed to be slightly more beneficial is a sleepy time tea, a chamomile tea that has helped some of my women, not everyone. Blue light does have a negative effect on helping you to fall asleep and stay asleep. So if you can rock some blue light glasses, that would be great. Or if you could, there's a way to turn at least your iPhone screen to red. Like a red overlay, so it blocks some of that blue light. That could be good. And then actually the study that I read was on taking a hot bath. I know that in hotels you either don't have a bath or you don't want to take a bath because it's a hotel bathtub, but maybe even a hot shower. It helps to lower your internal body temperature a little bit, which actually helps you to get more restful night's sleep. So maybe even trying to take a really hot, really long shower about an hour or so before bed. But ultimately, brace for impact. Brace for impact, dude.
Along that same vein, again, if you can bring your heated blanket, I guess this is an ad for heated blankets. If you can bring them and you don't have the ability to crawl into a hot bath, which would be fantastic because that would probably help me as well. A heated blanket, if you can just roll yourself up in it, even if you can't sleep with it, like it bothers me. Y'all know I have issues. I can't sleep with something like that plugged in. It's going to catch on fire and injure me. So I will warm myself up and then hope maybe that's got the same effect. I feel like that could also be a
toasty burrito.
Yeah.
Do you guys go to sleep, fall asleep to silence or to sound? Because I find it very
Sound.
difficult to fall asleep in complete silence. It might actually be better for me, but
Play it,
I actually
Haley.
have a white noise machine.
Okay, so I have a sound that I put on repeat on Spotify. Just turn on crossfade. It's called Deep Sleep Recovery Noise from the Water Sound Natural White Noise. And it's at a frequency that knocks me out within about 10
Yeah.
minutes. And
It's-
on a bad night, within 30, and it sounds like this.
Oh, that would do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good. One of my sleep tips for the pageant girlies: don't wait until after you've showered to do the social media. Get rid of the blue light long before then. Do the social media
Yes.
first. I've seen a lot of people wait until they're like ready to go to bed to pull their phone out, and then they're just keyed up and they can't sleep. Usually, if you can't sleep, it's because you're replaying some round of competition in your head over and over again. Whatever that is, get it out of your system before you try to sleep. It is more worth it to go and take the hour while everybody is asleep and practice your routine in your heels with no makeup on in the hallway at 1 a.m. than it is to sit there and toss and turn.
Mhm.
Go get it done, feel better about it, and then sleep feeling confident. So, like, another thing is final question or like an impact statement. If you have to give a speech, do that while you're in the shower. I practiced my speech in the shower and like try to stack tasks so that you're doing two things at once and save yourself the time and then go to sleep. Yeah.
The one thing I don't know, Peyton, I could be misspeaking here, but I believe at Miss Volunteer America, the contestants weren't allowed to access their phones during rehearsal time, which means, because this goes back to our social media thing, if you haven't pre-planned your social media and you don't have access to your phones during rehearsal, you then have to go back at 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. when you just want to get some sleep or you want to yap with your friends. You need to stop, make content at like 8, 9, 10 after a whole day of rehearsals. And that's just not going to go well. Like, I would just so much rather, I mean, a story, fine, but a post where I need to tag people and actually post something vaguely coherent, get that out of the way so you don't have to worry about it. Because the last thing you want, don't do this, whatever you do, go home after your rehearsal, freak out about how you screwed up, and then start doom scrolling with your phone on bright white in your bed until you're so tired that you drop the phone on your face. That's what I've heard some people do. And guess what? It didn't end well. I would almost mute my social media completely if it was me. I don't want to see what other people are posting.
100%.
Oh, we're blocking. I love all of you.
Yeah,
We're blocking.
but I don't want to
Block
see it.
Mute everybody.
Just
I
for
don't
the
wanna
week,
see it.
if you have to. Even if you're competing. I did this so many times, competing with my best friend, Alex. I know she did it with me. We completely muted each other's pages because, you know, if you're staying on top of your social media, you are posting every day, sometimes multiple times a day while you're at competition. To be hitting post on your own post, already delirious, already tired, already stressed about the next day, and to see everybody else's posts, you will doom scroll. And then you'll be up, and then you'll be even more stressed, and then you'll be overthinking what you're doing, what you're posting. You'll go back and change your posts, whatever it is. Just mute everybody. You love them. We don't need to see it right now.
I don't think there's any upside to seeing your fellow contestants' posts.
No.
You get to see them every day. If there's something news breaking, whatever, they can talk to you face to face. I also do this with other pageant coaches, for example, because sometimes I don't like what they're posting because it gets me really angry sometimes, or maybe even if I like what they're doing and then I get envious. What does it say? Comparison is the thief of all joy. It is so prevalent on social media. Social media literally lives to make you compare yourself to other people. Am I good enough? Or this person's in Hawaii. This person's made $1 million. That person got a new car. Why does any of it matter to you?
No.
Like, at the end of the day, why should you even be paying attention? Do you? And I think when you go to a pageant, the biggest thing you can do, you have a plan as to what you want to achieve, how you want to stand out, how you want to be remembered. Do that. Don't look at what other people are doing. I don't think it ends well at all. So I say make the mute function your best friend. Not block, and not unfollow, because that can cause some arguments later on, but mute.
Mute.
Yeah, no one will know if you mute them, by the way. No one.
No. Well, that has happened, and we have figured it out collectively before. Because if I stop seeing that you're posting any stories whatsoever, I know that you muted me. You know what I mean? But you kind of have to be looking. So like for Pretty Down to Earth, we had that 6-month period. And at that point, it's like you and 11 other people. That's a very small competition group. And when social media is scored, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see it ever, actually. I muted every single one of them. I was like, love you guys. I don't want to see it. I want to continue to love you. And I just
Yes.
let them know that in the group chat. I was
That's
like,
valid.
this is the plan. And a lot of them did the same. I am so passionate about this, and I have such a bone to pick with it. And yesterday, one of my professors goes, plagiarism ends careers. Don't do it.
Big and loud.
Ladies.
Big and loud. Please. Please.
Oh.
You're about to get us fired up.
I have been plagiarized for 8 or 9 months on end by the same person on a daily basis. Take my captions, run them through ChatGPT, repost. I can't, guys. I can't. It makes me so mad. And when you're the person that's actually doing the work and you're passionate about it, it is infuriating. And the thing too is your social media is your practice for your interview. You know, that's your time to figure out what you're going to say and when you're going to say it. It also helps you not plagiarize people to not look at their work. So just don't look.
You can't plagiarize when you have nothing to plagiarize. So yeah, that does help. But I don't think those sort of people who were or are plagiarizing you, I don't think they would.
No.
I mean, they follow you for a reason. Pageantry is weird at times.
Oh,
I
and
would say.
you know what? If there's a hostile figure in your life that's following you on social media, that's a competitor, that's plagiarizing you, go ahead and block, y'all. Don't put up with that. I wish I had long before I did. Okay, just
I'm
some
block button
advice.
happy. I'm block button happy.
As you should be. Just anyone who might be dealing with that. I know this is a very niche experience and I'm too emotional about it, but like.
Okay, so just the overview, at least on Instagram. So you got mute, restrict, and block, and they're always coming up with new and different ones. Mute means you won't see their posts or stories. You can choose whether you want one or the other or both. Restrict means basically the same, but in reverse. So if there's someone you don't want to, because you can actually force people to unfollow you now, which I don't think existed before. But if you don't want that to happen, because next time they look at your profile and they see they're not following you, they'll know that you force the unfollow. You can restrict. So they will never see any posts or stories you post. You can also, if they post any comments, no one else will see their comments. This one has been a big one for me. Not the mute, although the mute as well, but the restrict. Block is what you think it is. So if they then come to your profile, it'd be very obvious that you block them. And where you guys sit on the fence with using those three, I say at the end of the day, the biggest thing is you got to put yourself first.
Protect
Doesn't mean you have to do it from a place of being selfish, but if you're someone who, especially if you are a giver, right, and you're kind, I think you need to protect your peace more so than anyone else. So mute, restrict, block, and there's always going to be someone who will have a problem with you, no matter how. I mean, Jesus had haters, so you know if he had haters, you know we probably will too. We've covered an awful lot. Anyone got anything else to say before we go around the room for a wrap up?
She's holding something back.
Oh, nothing. I can't say it live, y'all, but I have the funniest blocking stories. Okay, I have a list before we wrap this up.
Go for it.
Okay, number 1, if you are poop shy, you are going to need poopery. You are typically stuck in a room with at least one other woman. This is not the time for you to be poop shy. It's also not the time for you to try to be holding it in backstage or anywhere else. Poopery, spray it in the toilet. No poo-poo smell. Flush, do your business, get out of there. Number 2, if you are nervous about people messing with your stuff, lock and key. You can lock the 2 tabs on your suitcase. You can lock the 2 tabs on your dress bag. Lock it up, have a key, give a parent an extra key, lock your stuff up. You know it's safe. Number 3, a ball for your feet. This is one thing I always tell all of my clients. You are in heels all day. the bones on the ball of your feet, so your big toe all the way to your pinky, they're smushed like this. They're not supposed to be in this position. That's not natural to you as a human. It's not your physiological build to have your feet like this. He's got one. Thank you. Show the people. So what you'll do at the end of the day, because y'all know when you take your high heels off and it's been a day, sometimes it feels like your feet are stuck in this position.
Yeah.
You're going to take that ball and you're going to put it under your feet and you're going to roll your feet out at the end of the night. It's going to help roll it out, massage it out, kind of help with some of the pain, not entirely, but you're in heels a lot. So that kind of helps to give you a little counterbalance with it.
I think, sorry, Morgan, I think this one is a racket ball.
Yes.
Weirdly enough, it's just this one is specifically to go along your spine. So you lie on the floor and the two balls go along the side of your spine. So if you have someone like me who you got back problems and you need to crack the back and it just won't go, can be a real game changer.
That'd be delicious.
I have foam rollers, but you can't really probably travel and take a small foam roller.
Will you bring me a tennis ball?
Tennis ball works as well, but this one's harder. This one's harder, and when I have a massage qualification, I don't like massages when it feels like the person is just groping me. Like, no, you need to drop the elbow, WWE style, get in there, get the knot out. So this one is like a tennis ball, but it's more extreme because it's very hard. And so if you have knots in your feet, you might need to cry it out a bit because it can be very painful. Yeah, this one for your spine. Absolutely. Sorry, Morgan.
It's going to make a huge, no, dude. And it's going to make a huge difference because also your backs are going to hurt. You're standing around in heels all day. You're standing a lot. Like you're going to hurt. So a ball for your feet. I know Peyton said she likes pixie sticks. My suggestion for all of my clients is always Skittles for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, they typically only dye your tongue a pink or a red color, even if you are eating like the purples or the blues or the greens. Reason number 2, unlike the pixie sticks, love you. If you have plaque or something built up on your teeth that even maybe you just didn't, it's 7 p.m. you're competing, you haven't brushed your teeth since 5 a.m. Skittles aren't going to stick to the plaque. They're not going to stain the plaquing and they're not going to stick to your teeth. So you're good on that. So we love Skittles. Also, if the blood sugar drops. Bro, pack tampons. I feel like that should just be understated. I don't care if your Flow app says that it's time or not. You never know. She comes in like a rager.
And panty liners, not even just for your periods. You hear me.
Please.
Not just for your period.
Listen to the woman. You need them. The Tide stain pins.
Yes.
Solid. Love the Tide to go pins. You just never know. Headphones. You have to block out the competition sometimes. Sometimes when you're backstage, you can't. It's too much, bro. Headphones in, you're silent. And with that being said, portable chargers, because backstage, sometimes y'all don't have access to plugs, or like, Haley, your curling iron is now 87 degrees shy of Satan, and you're not really feeling too safe about plugging your phone into that bad boy. Portable chargers, please. Also, going off of Haley's toenail catastrophe story, press-on toenails and press-on fingernails or glue-on that are going to match what you are wearing to the pageant, specifically. Because if y'all get your little gel thingies and then your thing breaks off, you're gonna look crooked. You're gonna look freaking ridiculous. So get you some press-on fingernails and press-on toenails. Nobody wants some. There's at least one judge looking at your feet. Sorry. Bottled water, because too many of my women show up to a pageant weekend and then realize the only place to refill their water bottle is the bathroom sink, which is repulsive. I don't care where you are. That's nasty. Bottled water. And then my last one, which I'm going to wrap my psych degree in. If you are prone to anxiety attack, panic attacks, for me, I feel like some people are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a panic attack. And then they're not. They're just having a little freak out moment. But for me, when I'm about to have a panic attack, anxiety attack, however you want to classify it, my ears stop working. I see spots. The room physically starts to spin and I am going to pass out. Like that's how it hits me every time. Outside of, I never had them when I did pageants. I hope none of y'all ever have to. Outside of that, what I learned during my psych degree, a fun little trick is your brain is oftentimes a one-track mind, meaning it can't really process a lot of things at the same time, even though you feel like it can. They will say if you feel a panic attack coming on, get some ice and put it on your sternum or behind your ear, back of your neck. You're at a pageant, you're not going to have access to ice. Your other alternative is going to be something sour. Put something sour in your mouth, as sour as humanly possible. If you can find something above warhead candies, sour as humanly possible. That's not always, it's not always going to work. It's not a one size fits all for everyone, but if you are prone to them, that's at least going to help you have a solid line of defense if you feel that anxiety or panic attack coming on. If you can't do candy or you're sensitive to sugar, salt and vinegar potato chips have worked with me, but they have to be a very, very sour salt and vinegar potato chip. But if you're prone to that, have something sour on deck on your person at all times, because if you've ever had a panic attack, you know that you can't predict them. They come out of left field. So always have it on you at all times. And Peyton will be taking them with her, whether she's prone to them or not. So if you are at Miss Volunteer America and you feel it coming on, find Georgia. She's going to have them on her person. And that's it. That's my Morgan rundown. Yeah.
That's amazing. All right, we need to get sponsored by Warheads. Forget Waffle House. All right, we got hands up. Peyton, you had yours up first. So Peyton, you want to go?
Okay, this is from personal experience, and I'm not going to share any more than I absolutely have to. Everybody that knows what happened in this situation knows and will hear my voice and know this. Have a clock, have a watch, have a clock, something, okay? I had an experience in a pageant setting. There was no clock, and there was a medical emergency where I needed a clock.
I'm intrigued.
I pray it never happens. I didn't have the medical emergency. It was somebody else, right? Haley, you can probably hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We needed to take the time. Okay, that's all I'll say. And it was, if you have a medical issue, if you're a diabetic, please have all your devices with you. And please tell somebody, okay? Even, I take note. That's just my biology degree. That's just my healthcare experience. I work in healthcare every single day. If I see a glucose monitor on somebody, I am paying closer attention to them throughout the day. I am making sure they're good. I am making sure they're upright and that they have color in their face. But please tell somebody, if you truly, I hope you tell the hostesses, but please tell your fellow sisters. There are times where the hostesses are not there and your only lifeline is the girls around you. Somebody have a watch and let it be you. Have a watch with you just in case, God forbid, but even just so you're not late, so that if someone says 5 till show, you say thank you 5 and you actually know what 5 is, right? Because we say thank you 5 and we just hope that somebody else comes and gets us. There's a lot of reasons to have a watch. That is something that will never leave my side ever again.
Can I, just before I go around to Haley, thank you for saying that, Peyton. That's very valuable. I interviewed Miss Utah USA, El Hinojosa, and she had some surgery done. Basically, if I'm remembering correctly, a part of her bone structure on the front of her face was removed, and you wouldn't know it to look at her. But if she's in an accident and she has to be intubated, she can't be intubated the normal way because the bone's missing, will go right into her brain. And so she has a medical thing around her wrist that says exactly what the condition is, and doctors will know. But you cannot rely on people around you to know. Don't be one of those people who say, oh, you should know. No, everyone has their own thing going on. So I have experience with hypoglycemic shock, CPR, things like that. Can I just say, if something, God forbid, happens to someone next to you, if it's you, it's you. What are you going to do, right? Hope that someone next to you is kind. But if someone next to you goes down, even if you don't have any training, please don't make it about you. Mm-hmm. And I mean this, don't start yelling and screaming, oh my God, your number one thing, not to find the perfect thing to say, talk to the person if they're still conscious and just ask, what do you need me to do? Then go do it. Okay. Oh my God, I get panic attacks. No, not helpful, right? Just ask them what they need because they will need it. They will tell you, and they're probably extremely self-conscious about it. The last thing they need is you creating a song and dance about it. I will say, for example, if you ever seen someone have an epileptic fit, very often they urinate uncontrollably and then they wet themselves. The last thing they need is you carrying on a song and dance. It's not about you.
Yeah.
Okay, please just be a good human being. I know the three women here all would do that. Just don't make it. When my sister passed, I don't know if I told you guys this, I had to phone her work to tell her that she passed. It's not the easiest phone conversation I've had in the world. She passed from diabetes very unexpectedly, didn't get to say goodbye. I phoned her work, told them, and then the person I was talking to dropped the phone on the floor, ran away screaming at the top of her lungs. And then the boss picked up the phone and in a really, angry voice, "Who's this? What did you say?" I'm like, F you. Like,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be hard for me, not for you.
No.
So don't make everything about you. Yeah. And get some perspective, because pageants are great. But like we led off the episode, Peyton helping out homeless people with special needs. There's crap going on in the world. Help as best
Real
you
life.
can. Yeah, don't make it about you and your nails cracking, your lips chapping. I get it's inconvenient. It's so far removed from real life, the real life concerns that a lot of people are experiencing at the moment. So just please never forget that. And when I see pageants and I see critics and pageant experts saying things, and if I ever met them, I'd punch them in the face, because like, you do realize there's someone on the other end of this who's an actual person who has hopes and dreams, might come from a single mother family. She saved for 3 months to buy the dress that you're slagging off as being, I wouldn't be caught dead in this dress. Don't be that person. We don't need that person, not just in pageantry, but in life in general. Sorry, Haley. I needed to go on a rant.
I love it.
That was very important. On a different note, after you win, the girls come and hug you and they swarm you. And a lot of them will put their chin on your right shoulder, which is where your sash now is. And that sash is white. And then after all of your sister queens get done hugging you, your family's going to hug you, the director's going to hug you, the judges are going to hug you, and you're going to take lots of pictures. And, all these people are also wearing lipstick. And then about 50 people that you don't know are going to come and hug you and say hi, and they're going to kiss you on the cheek. And that's going to be a little weird for you. And you're just going to keep going and smiling and waving and taking pictures, okay? And by the end of this process, your sash, this particular area of it, is covered in orange and pink and everything else. Those little Clorox or Tide bleach wipes will take it right out. So as soon as you get back to your hotel room, it's a weird thing to stop and have to do, but like lay that sash out, clean it off, and then take your picture where you're like sleeping with your sash. I know you don't like those, Adrian, because you think they're weird, but there's a way to do them where they're cute and not creepy.
I didn't say they're weird. I said they're cliche.
It's a tradition.
I'm going to do this right now, okay?
Okay. And then usually you have an appearance the next morning, and usually it's media, and you want your sash to be clean. So just bring the wipes just in case, even if it's like your state sash gets kind of dirty or your local sash, just have the wipes because you might need them. And if you don't need them, someone else probably will.
Yes.
The Miss Volunteer America sash is black, but I will say that doesn't make any difference, because I go around, one of the tuxes I have is a deep dark purple, almost the lapel is black. And I didn't know about what Haley was talking about until one day I get home from a pageant. I'd been interstate, and I come home, and on my right lapel, I kid you not, all on the right. I don't know why. I don't even know what it was. Foundation and lipstick. And I'm like, what's all this? When did I roll around in clay dirt? Because that's what it looked like. And Peyton getting her clay wheel. But like, it looked like that red kind of clay. I'm like, I didn't remember lying around on clay in my tux. And it's like, oh, it's all those girls hugging me and all their makeup has come off. I know this is first world problems. All right.
You probably had like $15 of foundation on you.
Yeah, I could start I could make a buck or two with that. But it doesn't matter what color you're wearing, what color the sash is, it's gonna get stained. So yeah, important safety facts there. Go HP.
That's a really good one. And it
Your
holds up in
ish won't move.
On the other hand, got to be glued hairspray. Same thing. Hold your breath.
Period.
Dawn dish soap. The first night at Miss Earth, I carried a food container while wearing like the competition sash, which is kind of a canvas material and it's green. Oil from this container got all over the sash and stained it. I stuck it in the sink, washed it with Dawn dish soap, like brand new. It was fine. So anybody going to Miss Earth, bring the Dawn dish soap. And in general, you just want to have that. There will be something, and you will need it.
I will say this is a superstition. It's by no means fact. Whatever you do, don't wear white. Whenever you wear white, someone will find you and put lipstick on you, throw curry at you. That's what happened to me one time. I dropped curry on myself. White is just asking for a disaster.
But winners wear white. Adrian?
I was about to say winners wear white.
Okay, fair enough.
Can't say that to pageant girls.
Nope.
Okay.
I showed up.
About.
My rival outfit for Miss Earth was white, and that's what I was wearing when I was climbing around that plane trying to do my makeup. You got to commit to the bit and take your little stain wipes and figure it out.
Yep.
Fair enough. I wouldn't be eating, though. I cannot eat.
Yeah.
I'm a very neat eater, but for some reason, when I wear white, because I have an all-white suit, I just become all thumbs and I drop stuff all over myself. As I said, it's a superstition, far from fact. All right, we have been on for a good long minute, and you guys have given a lot of very useful advice that hopefully is going to help a lot of people. So just let's go around the room quickly and wrap up, and I won't eat into any more of your time. Haley, what have you got coming up in the next week?
I have another week of school, and I have a radio interview on Friday. First one in a long time as not Miss Earth USA. I think this is my first interview I've ever done not having a title that's for media. So that'll be really fun. And then school. And then I'll see you guys hopefully next week on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. I hope the Milanos help with that. Peyton, what do you got coming up?
I am continuing to prep, continuing to get things together, have special things in the work that I will tell you guys as soon as we're off of this, and I will tell you next week what it was. Working out 5 days a week. Bring it on. What else? Raising money for St. Jude. If you want to donate money, call me. I will take it. Yeah, all the fun things, volunteering. Getting work done.
What I will say, guys, if you have any links that you want to fundraisers or whatnot, I'm putting your social media handles underneath the descriptions of these things. But if you have, like, I put Morgan's website there as well. So if you've got anything like that, let me know. Morgan, what have you got coming up apart from your huge trip? I mean, that you sound like you're going to have the most exciting time of all of us.
Yeah. Nerdy trip. And you're not allowed to take your phone in. They have a pouch where you have to actually lock it. They'll lock it for you. So you can't even take pictures inside. I might get turned into a vampire. Who knows? If I come back, you'll know if I'm a vampire or not. There will be signs. But yeah, just the huge trip. And getting these babies ready for state and nationals, because dates are coming out finally for a lot of state pageants, and Natty's is right around the corner for Peyton and the rest of her sister queens. So we're grinding, dude.
Okay, is there any such thing as a vampire with a southern accent?
Yes. Have you ever seen True Blood? Duh.
No, I didn't.
True Blood. It's the adult rated R version. Like, if Twilight is a rated PG, then the Vampire Diaries is probably like PG-13. The originals is like PG-13 / like R, and then True Blood is like the HBO Max After Midnight special that you.
But it's really good, and it's got a good plot, and they're all very southern.
Okay.
The way
It's okay.
And add that to the watch list. I was going to say, when Haley was going through her medicine cabinet, I was going to say I was thinking Breaking Bad, which is definitely not a PG-13. It's like you go overseas and you get this whole thing. It's like, could do some chemistry over there. But anyway, I'll stop the recording there because we've been on for a while. Thank you to our 3 lovely co-hosts. Go follow them. Go support them. Got any questions, you can message them obviously on their Instagrams or comment on the below, and we will see you next week.